Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Level 1 News. Today is June 29th, and today we're doing government and security stories.
But wait, Krista, you're in the wrong location.
Oh,
Why are you all the way over there?
I don't know.
Oh, I better move you. Oh, better click the right thing. Wait a minute. What's this?
Hi. That was too loud. Hi.
Let's introduce yourself.
Who
so
are
they know
you?
Who you are.
Okay, so I'm an editor for Level 1, right, Amber? And this is actually my last day here.
Oh no!
I know. Now it's going to be Editor Autumn.
Yeah.
Yeah. She seems a lot more, like, talented. She went to school for the... She went to school for it. She has, like, a degree.
It's the other editor that's going to be editing this. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. But yeah, that high at the beginning was probably too loud.
You are transitioning your career from, YouTube editor bozery to actual technical things, which is exciting.
Yeah, so I went from being like video janitor, and I'm going to be a computer janitor and healthcare.
So those of you that got hearts on your posts or responses in the comments, most likely it was her.
Yeah,
It's
we
probably
don't,
me.
We don't really respond a lot in the comments.
Yeah, I would respond to quite a bit and be like, thank you.
We do on Floatplane and Patreon.
Yeah, sometimes. No, I'm
The
just
class system.
yeah,
And
you're pretty good about it.
now that we have the new tradition, today's no exception, we have a new orange flavored drink. What do we got?
This is Clementine Twist from Sunshine. This is, again, Morgan, the Jägermeister cold brew coffee cup. That's the,
Winthrop Liquors.
Yeah. So, you picked this.
Yes.
I was gonna go. I'll probably switch before the end of the week because there's not a lot here. But you've been eyeing this all week, from what I understand.
Yeah, I would open up the refrigerator. My country accent showing. I would open up the refrigerator occasionally and see it, and I just wanted it.
Is that good?
Yeah, using it in my repurposed boba teacup from lunch.
It has a very mild,
Ooh.
almost grapefruit.
It's very citrusy smelling.
I would expect an orange drink to be.
Vitamin B12 and electrolytes with 100% of my daily vitamin C. I can definitely taste the vitamin C.
Is it soda
love that.
or alcohol?
Soda.
Ah, okay.
I love
Is it
that.
soda or is it one of these, like, water type?
Honestly, it tastes like Flintstones kids vitamins. It's like a mortar and pestle that you ground up into powder and dissolve in water.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it's actually pretty good.
It's
That's high praise.
I really like it. Yeah. It's like the classic taste of drinking orange juice, but I can also feel like I can taste the orange syrup kick along with it. I mean, it's good though. It's good.
What's the sweetener?
It has a decent amount of at lower calories than like half a pop or something, right?
Yeah, 60 calories. So serving size is 1 can. It's got all kinds of vitamins so that you don't feel bad about those 60 calories.
But that's not 12 ounces, is it?
No. 355 milliliters.
I've already had so much B12 today. I just got 100% more.
Vitamin A, 220%.
That's
They ought to go ahead and add zinc and niacin. I mean, come on. But the ingredients: filtered carbonated water, cane sugar. That's what we're tasting.
So it's real sugar.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely delightful.
But that's still pretty low calorie for real sugar.
Yeah, I was going to say it has real sugar in it, but it's only 60 calories, so...
This is a great drink for sipping. This is not a great drink to drink after you've been working on your roof or whatever.
Not a thirst quencher.
Yeah, I was up early this morning working on my roof, and it was already kind of hot and miserable outside. And I came in and I was all sweaty and just nasty. And it was this would not be what I go for. About 2 liters of water later, maybe I would go for this.
It tastes very, I think it tastes very sugary.
Yeah, it definitely does. So,
Like drinking Fanta or something, but not as, chemically tasting.
yeah. It's funny that you say that, because I think that's how I describe Fanta. It's sort of chemically tasting.
Diesel is what you said.
Yeah.
So what's the letter grade?
This is probably an A-, maybe an A.
Oh, that's
Wow.
I give it that. I give it that
right?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I liked more though. I had one of your it's the Italian oranges.
Oh,
cans?
the orange cream soda?
That was phenomenal. Love that.
Wait, no, you're talking about the San Pellegrino.
That was
Okay,
it. That
oh,
was
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which window was like, I'm so happy I still have 6 of those. Little did he know.
Yeah,
That's actually why she's leaving.
that was literally the last one.
Remember you said you saved one for later in a news episode?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rip. Rip.
Wow.
All right, we got the news. You gonna stick around for the news?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's get into some government news. And here we have a rare story where the Supreme Court ruled on the side of freedom. So rare. And I haven't met anybody who disagrees with this.
Supreme Court sides with high school cheerleader who cursed online. So this was in a snap circle of friends. It wasn't even posted publicly. She wasn't on school grounds. And the Supreme Court's like, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot here to protect constitutionally, but there's just enough. That whole slippery slope thing, we're not cool with this.
And actually she wasn't, I read the article, she wasn't threatening anything, and she
Yeah.
was not bullying anyone. It was just like, F this, F life, F school, F cheer, and it's like, go you.
More of a rant.
More
than
power to
anything
you.
else.
Yeah, it's more of a rant. Who cares?
Now, they do have, in private schools, there are clauses that you sign,
Yeah.
Yes.
and they can
It's
control that. But in public schools, certainly, when you are not at school, the school should have no power over you. But they do in
do
a
a
lot
bit.
of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, the dissenting opinion was like, well, she's a cheerleader. She should be like more standing up for things. It's like, well, it's been a long time since you've known.
Those, you ever look into the truancy laws?
Oh, yeah.
It's really just like, get them here enough to get us our federal money. That's the truancy law.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to me that it got all the way to the Supreme Court. Is that...
Well,
Yeah.
I think the lower courts went the other way,
Yeah.
so they had to keep appealing.
Yeah. But it's different because I saw also that the Supreme Court is normally not in the favor of the student. They normally agree with the...
This
The
was
school.
This
The
was
school,
a
yeah.
pretty clear-cut First Amendment case, though. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was only the one dissension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was... Yeah. And there was a justice who was like 80 years old, and he was like, I see no problem with this. And I was like,
Yeah, they're all ancient.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
all... Yeah.
Basically ruled by skeletons. And it's not as fun as you might think it would based on that description. Big tech is maybe big tech could call that a win. I guess Snap could call that a win, right? One of the rare ones. But usually they don't win when they go up against the government. And the government is working night and day. No, they're not actually. They work very little. But when they are working, they're working against big tech.
All-night antitrust debate moves big tech legislation forward. This is past the House now? Is that what this was about?
Yep, and they had the big debates, and one of the big debates that I don't know if we have that story. You know what, Chris? I'm resorting
Oh no.
the Microsoft story. Bring it forward too. But one of
Okay.
the big sticking points here, oddly enough, is who is on the list of big tech.
Yes.
Who gets to be on the list? Now, I would certainly, not based on anything political, but I would certainly put the big M in there, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're the
Yes.
OG big tech.
They've already been slapped down once.
Yeah, Wintel. I mean, come on. But it seems like the left, for whatever reason, don't think they should be in there. I'm not sure what that's about.
Microsoft should face the same antitrust scrutiny as Facebook, the Republicans say, because they were not in the thing. They're really focusing on the platforms. And this kind of makes sense because Microsoft doesn't have much of a social platform. I'll message you on Bing. Said no one ever.
But this guy's arguing, Jim Jordan is arguing that in every other way, they're exactly like the other big tech companies. So why wouldn't we? And he says he doesn't like the idea that we're actually writing laws with the names Amazon, Google, Facebook in them.
They're not
Instead of-
future-proof at all.
Yeah, instead of just going across the board and be like, everybody plays by these rules.
Right.
Google and Facebook merge into Frugal, and they're
Yeah.
exempt now.
Then they're like, man, we got to make a new law. We got to have an addendum or something.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about the Microsoft side of things with the Windows 11 launch, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there that is maybe antitrust armor against antitrust violations in the Windows 11 launch. It's almost like they preemptively know what's coming. But we'll talk about that in the business section.
Frugal is such a good name for them because frugal means to save money, and they would save a lot of money by stripping away our freedoms and privacies.
They'd actually make a lot of money, not just save it.
You're so eloquent with the way you word things.
Lena Khan, she is the new top dog at the FTC. And, well, I looked a little bit more into her. Whew. So it's a little scary, but she is definitely not on the side of big tech. She is decidedly on the other side, and has not taken long for her to take action.
Amazon's planned purchase of MGM faces FTC scrutiny. The commission secures antitrust review after talks with the Justice Department. Amazon critic Lena Khan takes the FTC's helm. MGM is already kind of a dinosaur. They own a lot of intellectual property.
They want it for the streaming.
Who cares?
They want to put that stuff on their streaming service. That's really, I don't see how that's disruptive.
I don't either. And it's like super against big tech too in a lot of ways.
But I like my free Amazon movies.
Amazon Prime is destroying
yeah,
the environment.
but people go back to this like Prime is evil and you should stop. And, are you on Prime, Amber?
Huh? Yeah,
Prime?
the student thing. Yeah.
You know, we had a hard time getting Krista
yeah.
on Prime.
Wait a minute.
The only reason I have it is because my husband has it.
See?
I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for that.
But are you still a student?
Well, it's
Amazon fraud.
No, you get it for a year
Ooh.
after you're
Yeah.
not a student anymore.
Yeah. Same reason that I still have like my storage from college. It didn't just like delete my like unlimited Drive account. I have it for like a certain amount of time.
I love the cloud providers. They're like, oh, you can count on us to store all your stuff, and then when their business model changes, they're like, you have 3 days, or we're going to remove
Get it
everything.
now.
Yeah. It's just like, come on, guys.
They give you less time than it takes to move that amount of data over your broadband connection because you live in America.
Yeah.
Well, New York was embarrassed, and this is one of those. I put this in the government section because it's not a hack. These are not hacks. Oh, yeah, there's hacks. There's hacks working in the New York IT department.
An internal code repo used by New York State's IT office was exposed online. Oops. They had a GitLab server that they forgot to lock down. Anybody could sign up for an account, and when you requested an account, well, you had access.
And there was some SSH keys in there.
Oops.
Ooh, maybe some passwords and some of that code. So somebody's going to have a busy weekend.
Yeah.
They did blame this on a third party as usual, but can you really? That's not a valid excuse.
You can't blame GitLab for that.
Yeah. No, I don't think they blamed GitLab. It was like another,
Somebody set them up, GitLab.
like a third party company. Yeah.
I didn't do it. He did it.
So you guys are responsible for your own administration.
So,
I know some people that are like, we can administer this, and it's like you have no idea what you don't know.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Indotronics Avani, a New York-based company with offices in India. So
There
these
it
were
is.
set up in India. Yeah.
There it is.
A guy making $5 a month set that up.
Sorry if you live in India. Are you? Oh, it's that good. Yeah, wow.
I'm sure there's good people in India. I'm not saying that all of the Indian IT workers are bad, but I'm saying that maybe the New York IT department didn't hire the best ones.
It's
Right.
unfortunate because a lot of the people that are working in India are quite capable. It's just that the firms that set this up hire relatively low wage people that don't really, don't have the best opportunity to do a good job setting these kinds of things up.
And let's face it, the best that Indian IT has to offer is not in India. They're in sheds in Silicon Valley with
Or
no
vans.
running water.
Yeah.
And we're so sorry as a country that you're enduring that you came here with, hopes and dreams in your eyes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that because you deserve better.
We've been hearing a lot more about the Federal Reserve banks getting into crypto. They're kind of sending some shots across the bow. And it seems like part of that is you want to talk down the competition well ahead of your launch.
Minneapolis Fed President Neel Kashkari calls DOGE a Ponzi scheme. That's how Dogecoin.
I would call it
Yeah.
more of a joke
Yeah,
that people have twisted into something else.
yeah.
The plaything of a narcissistic billionaire. I would call it that.
Yeah.
So there's some valid criticisms of the Doge.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I was pretty happy of the investment I did, and
What are your crypto holdings right now?
I have it was originally $100 worth of Doge, and now I have 4,000. Just ready to go, liquid.
Oh, wow. Wow, but So you're still holding Doge?
No, I sold like a lot of it.
So because it
But
lost
I have like
30%.
XRP from like 3 years ago.
But you can't sell that on Coinbase.
It's actually like past the. It's called Kraken. Kraken actually. You can hold on to it, and even like people were selling it because they were going to get rid of it, but it rose exponentially in price. And I also have like $2,000 of it.
But you realize there's a court case for fraud going on right now for their founders. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little tricky to get that out.
Yeah.
And if, maybe they did something wrong, maybe they didn't, but they are clearly on the wrong side of the law because they're involved in something that the powers that be do not care for. And they are, they might be a little outspoken about it. And that kind of thing, I'm not going to say it's going to get you killed, but it's not going to do you any favors.
The Financial Review has an interesting story. John McAfee, who's found dead in a Spanish prison. And there hasn't,
This is wild.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
McAfee, so it's like, did he fake his own death? I mean, there's a 0% chance of that happening.
He's kind of wild anyway.
I doubt he could organize that in a Spanish prison.
Well, they said like in the article that it was quote unquote everything looked like it was he had killed himself.
But I still haven't seen any details. You see how he actually did it? I have not released that, I don't think.
And there's no,
Well,
did he leave a note? Because he always, he
Well, he would
was-
always like
he was
tweet stuff
tweeting.
like, "Oh, I'll never kill myself." Yeah, like
Yeah.
if I end up dead, know that I didn't kill myself.
He literally got a tattoo that said, whacked. So,
Do you think
Yeah.
that he did that through the phone talking to somebody else, or do they let you tweet from Spanish prisons?
he said it was like a resort, and he was not looking forward to American prison if they were able to, get him extradited. Which,
Well,
They did.
That's the storyline, right?
Yeah.
That's why he did it. But he made a lot of statements about like, you know what, this isn't that bad. I can deal with this. I'm not killing myself. Definitely not killing myself. He used the Epstein name several times in several tweets.
Don't let him Epstein me.
But he was a legendary troll.
Yeah.
And would that
Yeah.
not be the ultimate troll, the ultimate exit troll, is to set up all this belief and then kill
I
yourself?
want to see the surveillance videos. I need some, come on.
I think those we'll find those have been deleted.
Oh, malfunctioned about 10 minutes before it happened. Weird.
It was so weird that all the cameras around the Epstein prison also malfunctioned. That's so weird.
Strange how that happens.
No, it's like Dishonored, and he secretly like snuck out,
He has the
Disarmed?
button.
but he
that a
has
movie?
like it's a video game.
Video game,
Okay,
yeah.
I heard that.
It's like the beginning thing.
So you're
File
saying
it.
he used some sort of superpower to exit the prison? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where's he? What do you think he's doing now?
I think his like consciousness is like stored like a cyberpunk like on a chip that they're gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't that be a hell of a thing to train an AI on John McAfee? What would that look like?
Look very chaotic.
Well, we got some bad news coming out of Germany. This is a little bit scary, but at the same time, it's also kind of toothless because it's not a very good way of blocking something, but it is a very overreaching way of blocking something.
Sony has won a pirate site blocking order against DNS-Resolver Quad 9. So the court case here was like, you need to block this site that's pirating information. We don't actually know what site it is. It's not confirmed. Torrent Freak has a guess. But that's a little bit like, preventing, it's like, that there's a cracked in a certain street in a neighborhood. So you go to the map maker and say, hey, don't put this street on the maps because there's a cracked in there.
Do you think we end up at a point where there's like rogue dissident DNS just to get around all this garbage?
Yes. We're
And
already there.
they're constantly trying to take them down?
Yeah, we're already there.
Well, I mean, there are some free ones that are still, I'm sure they're blocking some stuff. Now, Quad 9 has an anti-phishing, anti-malware filter that is automatic. And the German courts were like, well, you've got this. How's it any different? It's illegal stuff. It's bad stuff. We need to filter it. And they're like, I don't like that comparison.
Yeah. It's like this is not in the business of protecting the rights holders' interests. It's in the business of ensuring the integrity of the technology.
It's not in the interest of our customers.
Yeah.
That's the important part, which should always be your number one goal. Europe is just like our Federal Reserve Bank. They're thinking about, hey, how can we get these Fed coins going? We want to be in control of all money, and we want to record all transactions. So how can we work toward that?
European Central Bank can better protect digital payment privacy, the executive board member says with a straight face.
I don't know if I believe that.
That doesn't seem likely.
Has the EU, have they had any data leaks recently?
Oh, a ton.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
We never covered those.
Yeah, they literally said that we're not like a private institution where your data could leak, and we're not like the government where your data can leak. We're the bank. And so they obviously think of themselves as above everything else, which is not a great position to be in to give them more power over transactions.
Well, just kind of putting a target on your back for people like 4chan. They're like, oh, they don't think they can be hacked. We'll see.
Well, I mean, there's already not a lot of anonymity in, like, look at the HSBC, like, Colombia drug deal. There's no anonymity there already, and they still launder money left and right. Basically, nothing came from that. So, what is it going to accomplish except give them more control?
I think that's what they want. More control. There will still be a ton of fraud with it.
There I go, saying the quiet part out loud.
The French are going after some people, and I will admit that, you know, when it comes to the spyware companies, like even Graykey and Celebrite and all that stuff, I have no love for them. I have no sympathy for them. They're awful. They're monsters, and they deserve what they can get. But this is 100% blaming the gun.
Yeah.
Because you never know where does this go down the line. Can you tell me right now, because I can't say this confidently, can you tell me that nothing that you've ever made with technology couldn't be used for horrible purposes?
Oh, yeah, not at all. Like,
No.
not even a little bit.
Which makes this absolutely terrifying.
French spyware bosses indicted in their role in the torture of dissidents. So they made software that you can, backdoor phones, spy on a phone. There are legitimate purposes that you could have for doing that, maybe. But, yeah. If they do this, think about just encryption.
Well, you got to flesh it out more. They didn't actually torture anybody.
Yeah.
They sold this to Libya and Egypt.
And they torture people.
And then Libya and Egypt tortured some people.
That's not their, like... I don't understand why that would ever get back to...
I think this is the first salvo in a new war on encryption. Like, the only end game I see for this is they don't want people to have encryption, and people are smart enough to know that encryption is good for them. And so they want to go after the people that are making encryption that's powerful enough and doesn't have a backdoor to say, oh, terrorists used encryption, you're responsible.
Well, I think they also want to shield themselves from a private sector that is way better than them at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't beat them. How do we stop them? How do we silence them? The chilling effect. And if I were in this business, I'd be pretty cold right now. I think I'd be looking for something new to do. Poland claims that they were recently targeted by some cyber attacks, and you'll never guess who they said it came from.
Poland says that the recent attacks they originated from Russia.
What?
I hope Russia's not planning to annex Poland. That never ends well.
Or Poland.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're. I think they went after the email of the top guy. They did manage to fish some people, and some stuff. Some stuff happened. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but they're like, yeah, we're pretty sure.
They weren't just telling Putin at G7 to tone it down a bit for nothing.
And speaking of, dystopian governments crushing dissent, Russia is probably number 2. I don't know. Where are we? You think we're better or worse than Russia?
Neck and neck with Russia, I think.
Probably.
Let's say we're tied for second. But number 1 is several lengths ahead, I would say.
China number 1.
Scholars on LinkedIn are being blocked in China without telling them why. It's like, hey, I might want to go do research or work at a Chinese university. And it's like, no, I can't view your resume on LinkedIn.
Are they at liberty to know why? Like, do you have to know why? I don't think they have to tell them why,
The Chinese
right?
government didn't have to tell anybody anything. This guy did say, and it seems pretty obvious, he had worked on a project that had something to do with Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
And that word was in his bio.
Yeah, I think it's more of like you see it, doesn't matter the context,
Yeah, but there were some other people who were not quite as sure. They're like, I'm not really sure what triggered this, but something about it. They're on a list in China.
It's like a story we're going to have later in the news. Is like, oh, he had the word congressman in his profile.
And congressman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's is just like one in a very, very long time line of big tech companies doing whatever China tells them.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, you don't like these people? They're gone.
In case you forgot, Microsoft owns LinkedIn. And so just like Apple, where it's like, oh, yes, please, let's bend over backwards to do business with China and not hold up American ideals.
And China made a lot of people sad this week.
A lot of people, not just this week. It's been coming for a long
but there
time.
was a big sad this week. A big percentage of sad.
Bitcoin plunges. This China's Sichuan? Sichuan?
It's not Szechuan, right? That's different.
Province pulls the plug on crypto mining. Some of the pictures that are coming out of there are incredible. There's like 3-level warehouses. It looks like something out of a Bond film. They have like high tension lines running like 8 feet off the ground, and then substations, and yeah, 6,600 pounds of GPUs making their way to Maryland, USA for $9.37 a kilo. That's some serious GPU liquidation prices. Somebody's going to make a lot of money on that.
Are they? I think it's ASICs, not GPUs.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Because they're mining Bitcoin.
Some of those ASICs, though, are just a lightweight ARM enclosure connected to a jillion PCIe devices in a silver box. So, like, if you take it apart, it's like, oh, these are GPUs.
So, yeah, I guess we're going to get a lot more Bitcoin mining in this country. It's interesting they immediately come here. Would that not be another more friendly nation somewhere? There's got to be a Bitcoin, like, a country that's just welcoming it, right?
Well, there may be so much shipping to America, it's less likely to be flagged.
What about the volcano? Was that Ecuador?
Salvador.
El Salvador, yeah.
Salvador.
Yeah, go to the volcano. India has now joined the never-ending group of companies or countries that are going after big tech. This one's weird because they're doing a very specific kind of complaint, which is probably good.
India orders antitrust investigation against Google over the smart TV market. India is starting to worry that too many smart TVs come with Android, and that gives Android or Google undue influence over the apps and ecosystem that you run on your Google TV. You have to have a Google account, Google Play. Those are the only way to load applications on your smart TV, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, this number boggles my mind. How many people live in India?
Billions. 1.2 billion?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
it's
the
number
most
2,
densely
right?
populated.
How is this? Is this a typo?
About 8 million smart TV sets were sold in India in 2019.
8 million?
That seems like not a lot.
That's
But yeah,
how many hundreds of people would have to watch the same smart TV for everybody to get a look at that?
Maybe somebody in the comments can let us know.
Well, so isn't that more common though in India too? Maybe it's like multi-generational households.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that.
But why?
I don't know. That just seems low.
But why waste everybody's time with this if you're talking about 8 million households being affected?
Well, in America, like with the 350 million, I'm pretty sure that we sell at least 10 million a year.
It's got to be way more than that.
Maybe.
Because
I
people.
don't know, but TVs are kind of one of those things. Like you buy it and you have it for like several years, and then you don't buy one, and then until it dies, and then you buy another one. So people don't buy a new TV every year.
With more and more devices, it's also less and less likely people buy TVs. 'Cause
Yeah.
you just,
Yeah.
You ever live in like a crappy subdivision of just all apartments? Super Bowl weekend,
Currently, yeah.
every house has a TV box outside. Every house is Super Bowl weekend.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I
People
never
love-
noticed that.
Yeah, people love buying TVs Super Bowl weekend if they're poor.
because the one they got last year has died and or is way crappier than this year's Super Bowl TV.
Now, if you have the internet in a country other than the United States, I would certainly not blame you for looking at this headline and being like, wait, what? What? How are they allowed to do that? Isn't this supposed to be a level playing field? Apparently not.
Iran alleges that the U.S. State Department linked its news websites. Some of them were seized by U.S. authorities.
State linked is hyphenated.
Oh, okay.
So if the U.S. believed that you were affiliated with the Iran state media, Iran, I'm sorry, you're gone. They just seized it. Seized it from who?
The article made it sound like they weren't 100% sure it was the State Department because they hadn't commented.
The U.S. you mean?
Yeah.
Didn't admit it.
Yeah.
Well, then who did it? Who else has that power?
I wanted to see the actual websites. What, Kristen?
It says they directed Department of Justice.
Well, we're paywalled, but they did list Press TV was the big one.
Yeah.
So that's gone now, I guess. It's got the FBI, you know how the government puts the warning on there when they see something?
That's what I wanted to look at. It's like, is that a crappy imitation or is it real?
Let's look at it.
This is definitely going to get us flagged by the algorithm for sure.
They seize our website next.
Yeah, see, I mean...
This website has been seized. There you go.
It has not any... Okay, are we good with English? No English? I don't know. I mean, these are always so crappy, it's hard to tell.
It's terrible. Krista, how bad is this like gradient that comes down to the logos? And
Oh my gosh.
I can't see it now. I got the paywall, like, as I was scrolling
no,
down.
just go to presstv.com.
Oh, okay.
What's making noise?
Oh,
I don't even know.
it's not even responsive. It's
you
just a
hearing that?
JPEG. It's not good for SEO. It's just a JPEG.
Sounds like it's from there.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess if you're the U.S. government, you can just go wherever you want and steal websites.
I mean,
USA
what
number
does
one.
what does that mean? Seized? Like they just like
They took the domain name.
Yeah, they went to the DNS or something, and they went to the registrar and they're like, "This is ours now."
.com is us. We
no
own
questions.
Yeah.
Period.
But
Full
.com
stop.
is not us anymore. Remember?
this. Yeah, it's international.
Okay, that makes sense.
And in India, they are in a little bit of a war with Twitter. Actually, they're in a war with all the big tech companies because they made these rules and they said, listen, not only are you going to have to do exactly what we tell you, but you must hire someone. And they must interface with us at all times in case we need to tell you something.
It's amazing all of this started over the medicinal properties of cow poop.
And urine. Don't forget the urine. And
Well,
most
very
of the big
important.
tech companies, like China, were like, all right, fine, whatever you want. We'll do whatever you want, except for one.
India slams Twitter for not complying with its new IT rules. Those rules are you got to take these posts down when we say, like immediately, you got to do all this other stuff, and also don't disparage the people that are in power.
Which one was it that they arrested everybody at the local office? Was
Oh.
that Twitter?
No, that was the burger place.
No, it was
Yeah.
a different one. It was one of the social
Oh.
media companies.
Oh
It
yeah.
might have been Instagram.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But Twitter's playing with fire here.
I mean,
Yeah.
hasn't Twitter always like played with fire?
It seems like they're a little bit more idealistic, where they're like, well, we really want to do business here, but we want to try to like bring some of the American culture there, and we don't want to like. Obviously, the whole cow poop thing is like, come on. Meanwhile, Apple's like, yeah, cow poop. I'll take some of
All
my
right,
coffee
yeah.
every morning. Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, one thing about India, you can often hire work to be done in India that's actually cheaper than a computer can do it.
This is amazing, too.
which is incredible because we're working we're trying to build all this AI, but some pragmatic people are like, you know what, we could just hire somebody to do this for like $0.25 a day. Let's just do that.
A CCTV company is paying remote workers in India to yell at armed robbers. The internet is finally good enough that we can do this. So clerks at a 7-Eleven are watching the security cameras. They saw a clerk go over to a fridge and get an iced coffee out and immediately start drinking it. And then a voice came on the loudspeaker that was like, "Did you pay for that?"
Now here's the question.
That's funny.
I suspect, and this is the darkest part of this, they didn't mention this, but this guy, like Stalin, for example, Stalin told his secret police, hey, if you don't bring me X number of dissidents at the end of the week, guess what you are? And so they always found dissidents, whether they had to make it up or not. I bet these guys have a quota.
They probably do.
They gotta chime in and find infractions so often. And if they can't, I bet they start getting desperate looking for infractions.
Yeah, seems likely.
They also pointed out that during a robbery, the God voice came in. It was like, hey, stop doing this robbery. And it worked.
The God voice.
But the guy had a rifle pointed at the clerk.
Yeah,
And-
look at this.
And the other people were arguing. It was like, well, that could have spooked them. And he could have just gunned down that clerk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are we not putting our workers at risk here? Perhaps.
That reminds me of the first
A
time I
wild
ever heard
photo.
a tornado warning. I was in college and I was like, what is this voice? I had no idea.
Oh yeah, they'll like yell.
Growing up in the mountains, I experienced wind the first time coming here, and it was unsettling.
The wind in the mountains.
Not like here.
Yeah, my house is in like a strong wind alley.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
constantly you're hearing like that the ghost noises where it's blowing through a tiny hole somewhere.
Yeah, mine wasn't. Mine was being hugged by the mountains, and like the wind was on top of the mountains, and it was never like even in tornado season, it was just a mild breeze. And I was like, what's happening?
I have a video of me freaking out about the voice in the sky because I didn't know they did that for tornado warnings. I need to show it to you sometime.
No, the internet would never see that.
The less they know about you, the better.
You talking about the local one?
Yeah, like it's like just all throughout town you can hear it.
Do you know what that's really for?
Tornadoes?
Nerve gas.
No. Yeah.
There's nerve gas out there. You didn't know that?
You don't
ever
know.
seen the
You should
movie
have
The
a
Rock?
radio.
Have you seen The Rock? Sarin VX gas? There's a whole pile of it out there.
And that's to let us know we're going to die.
If you smell almonds, you're in trouble. You know who else is in trouble? These two gentlemen from South Africa. Because this is a story that we've seen so many times before.
There was McAfee.
And it's terrifying because who do you trust? Because you have to use an exchange, right?
South African brothers vanish, and so does 3.6 billion in cryptocurrencies. And there's some investigation going on and some other stuff. But how cool would it be if those guys were like, "We got to get McAfee out of prison"?
The heist
Effect
movie.
is dead.
Yeah.
So what is this trio ultimately going to do now that they've joined forces?
Well, right now they're laying low on a boat.
He did a lot of that. Well, he didn't really lay though. He did press conferences from his boat.
Yeah. But now that Starlink is a thing, I feel like he's missed his golden hour. He could have been doing that from Starlink.
Oh, Musk would dime him out immediately. Musk was like, "There can be only one."
I don't know how he's doing this. He's we're doing a relay through like 6 satellites. We have no idea precisely where he is.
Well, here's an interesting one from Japan. We often see somewhat inconsistent copyright stuff coming from Japan.
Yeah.
On one hand, they don't seem to care about it. On the other hand, they do weird stuff like this.
This seems a little excessive.
And it does seem a lot excessive. Now, they were using copyright material. We got to say that up front. They were violating something. But the response, a little strong.
Yeah. Police arrest 3 for posting 10-minute movie summaries on YouTube. So basically they would take a movie, recut it, and expose all of the plot points and everything else into 10 minutes. And the Japanese court said, if people watch this, they probably are not going to watch the movie. But Krista always reads the Wikipedia articles on stuff.
This channel was made for people like me who want to know the ending before they invest their time in watching something.
People who are wrong. But
It's my preferred method.
you know who else does this just on a smaller scale? Every movie company that makes trailers. Modern trailers tell you the entire movie.
Well, and IMBD does that too, where they put the whole summary on there.
Yeah.
But they're not using copyright material. I mean, the movie companies are, but they own it. So that's what gets you in trouble.
You can copyright elements of the story.
No, but they were using actual movie footage.
Oh, yeah. No, those people. I mean, just where do you draw the line?
Well, they drew it.
Yeah.
Right there, turns out, in Japan at least. We have some data leaks to talk about. We've moved on to the security section, and nothing new here. Just the same story, different names.
ADATA. Oh, no, ADATA. They suffered a 700 gigabyte data leak in the Ragnar Locker ransomware attack. So they got phished, I guess, probably. And some of the data is out there. I haven't really looked into it yet, but apparently it has like NDAs, contracts, parts suppliers.
There wasn't any code, I don't think. They have the names of the files here, but it definitely seems like internal stuff, bookkeeping type stuff. They don't sell directly to customers, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they sell directly to Newegg, who sells directly to customers.
No, but that would because they don't have my information in that situation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's all corporate stuff. I wasn't sure if we talked about this last week or not. I think it was maybe just a different article. I don't know. This did come out on the 17th. If we did, don't bother telling us in the comments because we're not sure. But this is terrifying. To most people, I guess, they would have to make it so bad that I couldn't shower in it because I don't drink this poison.
50,000 security disasters waiting to happen. The problem of America's water supplies. If you can imagine a community center run by 2 old guys who are plumbers, that's your average water plant, one cybersecurity consultant said. Yeah, we've computerized everything, but we weren't prepared for the security implications of it. This is very true.
Are these digital sharks?
I was looking at them, and I think they are. I think those are shark fins, but they look. I thought they were mouse pointers at first.
Oh, they do kind of look like that, actually.
But the
Like cursors.
it's
Yeah, a little bit.
isosceles, and mouse pointers are not isosceles, are they? Let's look at the mouse
I
pointer.
don't
Oh,
know.
actually, they are.
They are, yeah. They
I've never
absolutely are.
realized it. But yeah, this is a job where you take your old guys who can't get out in the field anymore, and you're like, hey, go look at those lights all day long, drink some coffee. But maybe it's a little more serious than that now.
We can't mess with the formula too much, or it lets the lead loose in the water. Never mind, the Romans knew that lead was bad for you. We still made pipes out of lead.
They didn't know it first. They learned the hard way, and apparently we've forgotten their sacrifice.
This is kind of tied into the one in the nonsense section about California. I'm excited to get to that one.
Are you talking about the dirty water?
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
You're doing the
we'll
window
get there.
foreshadowing.
We'll get there. Foreshadowing.
Ring. You remember when Ring decided that they wanted to really get in bed with the cops? I mean, really get in bed with the cops? Well, it was actually a little worse than we thought.
It turns out that Ring has tried to recruit influencers from among the police force, and they've seeded a bunch of Ring cameras to them to try to get them everywhere.
And not only that, giving them cameras is one thing. Giving them affiliate codes is quite another. They had an email in here that they subpoenaed, and it was like, dude, you're so close, 11 more units sold on your code, and you get everything we sell.
Wow.
So it worked. It was a good move, if a terrible, like morally bankrupt move, but an excellent marketing move. And Peloton, that's a hot new name in home fitness. They've had a bit of a problem lately. One of their treadmills ate a child. And if
Right.
you're going to be in the fitness industry, you definitely don't want your equipment killing children. So they've said to themselves, we have an upgrade, and it's going to fix everything. But it definitely did not fix everything.
A new problem for Peloton owners: hacks. They want you to subscribe to their service now. So you have a treadmill, but the treadmill will not operate unless you're paying a monthly fee.
That's actually a different story.
What?
This story
Oh.
is about the fact that one of the components, I think it's the screen.
Oh, you can spy on people. Yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah.
got mixed up.
And why do our treadmills and our bikes have cameras in them?
Oh, it's for the personal trainer thing. So like your personal trainer can
Yeah.
come in and give you encouragement.
But I should be able to see my trainer. Why does the trainer need to see me? To make sure that I'm actually doing what they're
Yeah,
screaming at me?
probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's that personal session, It's that personal
The
experience.
personal touch, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not engineered with any kind of security in mind. So.
No, it wasn't.
This is the Bike Plus. This is actually in public places.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess you rent time on these. Do you know what the business model is? Maybe it's like for if you're-
I've used one of these before in a public setting.
how did you get on it? Like,
Well, I had a membership, so I just kind of used it.
so it was like a gym somewhere?
There's
Yeah.
probably video of you that's just forever stored somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you use one of these in a public place, they're saying that that's probably even more dangerous. They all have the flaw, but the ones in the public place would be easier to get to, obviously. So take a little piece of tape with you when you go to get on the public Peloton and put it over the camera.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I don't see why they would have a camera.
Or just drape your towel over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's like,
Drape your
I
towel.
just want to use the
Inconspicuous.
exercise bike part of it. I don't need to talk to anybody.
Or if you want to be just slightly less morally good for your gym, get yourself a little pocket knife and dig that out of there. Put it in your pocket.
No one's gonna know.
Watch out for cameras, though.
How would they know?
Colonial paid the ransom. Didn't Toshiba pay the ransom?
Yeah, that
think they
other
all
pipeline
do.
company paid the ransom.
Another gas
Yeah.
pipeline. There were like 3 more in the past month.
Yeah, it's really profitable.
A lot of people paying the ransoms. And the FBI supposedly is begging them, please don't do that. And maybe this is one of the reasons.
Cybereason, 80% of orgs that paid the ransom were hit again. Yes.
Surprising no one.
When I have to clean up after one of these, I always am like, by the way, this is going to happen again, so don't think that you can't not spend money. And they're like, what?
But I'm shocked that, do you think they're trying to spend the money to add prophylactic measures?
No.
or they're just paying it and being like, "God, that's over."
Yeah. That's exactly my personal experiences are. That's exactly how it goes.
There is no long-term view. That's someone else's problem in the future.
That is exactly right.
That's not a it's not a reasonable way of thinking though. Like if it happened, if you were vulnerable enough for it to happen once, why would it not immediately happen again?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many people out there that don't even realize what they don't know. I mean, they're just like, I'm just going to put my NAS on the internet without taking any other security precautions or doing anything. And it's like, well, I mean, that's fine now, but eventually that's going to be a problem. And you've drawn attention to yourself by being victim to these things in the past. So being scrutinized twice as hard. So,
man, you know what I'm glad about? I'm glad that next week I don't have to start a new job where I could easily be blamed for something like this. I mean,
nervously laughs.
What if I were going next week to work for a company that I'm absolutely confident has nothing in place for this?
They probably don't.
And this is a weird headline because, man, I think my memory's faulty. I keep remembering when everybody said this would never happen. They just kept telling me this was impossible.
California offers a digital record if you've got your human anti-malware installed. It's an electronic record, so you can very easily, you don't have to have your card, you can verify it online.
Why would we need that?
Well, because people are making fake cards.
I think the answer is because they want to exclude people.
Well, ultimately, yes. But, in the exclusion, it's like, here's your card.
I lost my card and no one has ever asked me for it.
That's probably good. They're not supposed to. You can volunteer it, but...
Yeah, like no one has ever...
But you're in a red state.
Yeah.
In California, it's going to be way different.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
I read this story and all I could think about was the booming God voice Indian thing.
Yeah. Coming soon. Well, you know what I thought about? I thought about the park benches with spikes on them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah. That's sad.
What is the park bench with spikes version of this? And how long does it take to get there? I think a short amount of time. I don't know what it looks like, but it'll be bad and it won't take long to get there.
Smart street furniture in Australia, public surface or surveillance and advertising tool. So this is smart street furniture. Here's a pole, traffic light, whatever.
I think it might be a street light.
It's in Australia. And so it's like these are providing kind of a two-way deal. Look, they're enjoying things. This is definitely not a drug deal happening.
This is definitely not recording their conversations and, sending the keywords to Amazon. They did some on the street interviews. So a lot of people, this is a phone booth. And they were like, hey, do you ever use the phone booths? And the people looked around and they were like, I just see the kiosk. I don't.
It's an ad. I just block it out.
It's an advertising kiosk. And they're like, no, you can go inside there. You can use a phone. I had no idea. Thought it was just for advertising.
Payphones.
What? Where? What?
Australia, Sydney.
Oh, that's insane.
I don't know what's smart about this one.
Well, they put the brackets in because people were sleeping on it.
Well, that's like the spikes.
Yeah.
If you're homeless, how do you take advantage of smart furniture?
I saw one that it was a bed of spikes, so they had a sheet of plywood. They just put the plywood over the spikes and then.
Yeah.
Also, remember those stories about the charging stations that were popping up in New York, and they were all just infecting your phone as soon as you plugged in?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Bad stuff's going to happen with those. I'm looking forward to reading about it.
In order to charge your phone, please install this app. What?
And our final story fills me with such dread.
Yes.
Because I feel like, this is a funny, who would agree to that now? But in 10 years, I don't think this will be optional.
Probably not.
Yeah, and I'm going to hate this.
Woke up sweating. Some Texans are shocked to find their smart thermostats were raised remotely. Now, this is an energy-saving program they opted into to save $1 or $2 on their...
They didn't know they were opting into it. It was default. By default, you opted into this. And the only thing you get in return, like I might be thinking, all right, you're going to save me 10% a month? Maybe I'll do that. You got entered into a sweepstakes. That's
it?
all you got.
That's it.
Yeah.
Around here, you get a few bucks a month.
That's not worth it.
No.
And so when the grid gets really, really busy, as we know Texas had a bit of a problem with there in the first part of the year, they just turn it up or down.
I mean, in this country of, plenty and overrun and Amazon warehouses shredding hundreds of thousands of items a day, why do we have an electricity shortage in Texas?
I think
They have their own grid.
It's been well established at this point.
Yeah, it has, but there's still no excuse for it because it's like we have, like, there's just energy is just such a basic thing. How do we screw that up?
We eliminate competition.
And we don't invest in it at all.
And then we let them do whatever they want once they're the monopoly.
And then you have to suffer because thermostat.
Well, they pointed out too that it's not just a matter of like, oh, you're going to be kind of hot and sweaty. It can be a matter of safety if you have people who are very old in the home or like infants who can't really regulate their body temperature.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You ever rent like a cabin or something and you go and they've got central air, but they got that little plastic notch so you can't turn it all the way down?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, come on, guys. You think I can't take the faceplate off? Who are you stopping here?
All right. What do we got for tomorrow?
You can't do that here.
What?
Business and something. I don't remember. I've pre-sorted this week.
Is the capture messed up, by the way?
oh, I froze for a second. Looks like.
Oh, yep.
Hang on.
Okay.
Boop.
No, not your capture. I think
I
we're
back?
not like all the way in the thing.
What?
Is that on purpose? Or are we?
I'm not.
Oh,
following.
is it just black over there? Because of the curtains? Or not curtains.
You talking about over here?
Oh, see, it was black. I thought it was like cropped or something. It was like weird. I don't know.
Get a hold of yourself, Amber.
It's way different on this side.
It's hard to see from that seat. It's so far away. It's hard to read what's happening on the screen.
I didn't see the purple light. I just saw the dark background and thought it was cropped.
You want to try to do a Krista goodbye?
Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
You go like, bye, right?
Yeah.
Is that a good mimic?
I'll give it a 7.
You gotta go longer and higher, as high as you can
Show her,
go.
Krista. Show her for tomorrow.
As high as I can go?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye!
There you go.
See you tomorrow.